Hello, and my name is Bloodbath169, and welcome to Sid Meier's Civilization 3 Complete. One of the first games I ever played, might actually be the first game I ever played. One of my very much favorite classic games. Excuse me, hang on a sec. One of my favorite games, but unfortunately one of my favorite classic games, Empire Earth, is not available on Steam. Sad days. And I haven't even tried to install it on Windows 10. It's an older classic game, so the issue is it probably won't work on it, sadly. But we're going to go ahead and do a playthrough of Civ 3. And a couple of quick notes on how I want to do this. If you guys have an interest in a certain civilization that you'd like to see me do a playthrough on, leave a comment down below and we'll do that. For this first series, we're going to see about doing a new game. And we're going to leave this on a huge map. I just love the big maps. We're going to leave Barbarians on Raging, do a Pangea, meaning 60% water. So generally, Pangea meaning one large continent. We're going to do wet conditions on a warm temperature and a 5 billion year old map. And, while I am American, and I could play as President Lincoln of the Americans with expansionist and industrious, I am partial to playing as the Greeks because they are commercial and scientific, and also because I am myself in Greek. Now, for the purposes of this playthrough, we're going to do something I don't normally do, and we're going to activate accelerated production. Causes everything to be done faster, so you get more time to experience the gameplay itself. So we're going to go ahead and start. Alright, so Alexander, your people are commercial and scientific and have recently mastered the alphabet and bronze working. So those are the two that we start with because we are commercial and scientific. We're going to see if we can build a civilization to stand the test of time. It is the year 4000 BC. Our ancestors were nomads, but over the generations they have learned the secrets of farming, road building, and irrigation, and they are ready to settle. Okay. So, when we look at our surrounding area, we're right by a freshwater source, so that's good. We can grow as much as we possibly can handle. We're surrounded by hills, and we have some grasslands here that have shields on them. Always good for production. And with the freshwater river nearby, that means we can irrigate from the get-go. So, let's go ahead and plant our first city of Athens. Now we start with a settler and a worker, and we're going to go ahead and build a warrior first. Warriors are the weakest units in the game. Let's also check and see where is this citizen. They are right here. So we're going to move our worker down here and develop that spot first. Technology we need to set our first path, so we're going to go ahead and set our first path for the Republic as our ultimate goal. Okay, so we're going to build a mine on here that will give us a boost as far as production goes. Generally speaking, you need food to expand your population. Obviously, if you can't feed your population, they will not expand. And you need shields are the in-game unit representing production, and coin, of course, or gold, meaning commerce. And right now we're making +2 gold per turn. And I apologize. In a couple of the other videos, you may have heard my chair, which is definitely ancient and decrepit. So I apologize in advance. I try to edit out the noise from the chair, but not something I can always do. So anyway, our first warrior here has been produced, so we're going to actually keep going with the warrior, or actually, let's go ahead and do a worker. I try to do 2 workers per city as a rule. It helps develop everything quicker. Now the warrior is not going to be our defensive unit on top of the city. We're going to send him to explore. And then we're going to tell the AI to do that. And we're going to do 3 warriors exploring. We're going to set our workers working in opposite directions. And he's going to irrigate. Okay, we have another warrior, so let's do 1 more. And as you can see, our production just went up, or it got faster because we added another shield to this tile right here. Okay, so next step, we're going to go ahead and do a hoplite. and our first defensive unit for our capital of Athens. Our culture has expanded, or our high culture, due to the palace in the city, has caused the borders to expand. Okay, so we're going to do irrigation and build a road there. We built a mine and a road on that tile, so that's all we can get out of it. We're going to move on. Okay, so we have hoplite. Now we're going to build another hoplite. This is our first defensive unit. Now, if a barbarian happens to spawn nearby, case in point, it won't automatically overrun us. So we're going to go ahead and try to not lose one of our explorers here. An Assyrian raiding party ambushed us. And they got a promotion for that. Okay, so hoplite up. We're going to go ahead and build our first settler, and that will allow us to expand and build our second city, excuse me. Gonna keep fighting these guys off. Now we have, if you look on the map here, you can see different resources. Like we have wheat here, gold here. There's fishing here. There's silks, I believe that is. Yes, that's silks, sugar, tobacco, oasis. Each one of these resources, all of them are nice to have, but they each have their own benefits. None of them have detractions per se. But they all have benefits, and they are most definitely worth pursuing. A village there that our warrior stepped on gave us pottery, which lets us build granaries, and also no, excuse me, no, that would not be correct. But it does give us access to granaries. So we're going to go ahead, actually, and continue with our hoplites, because we want 3 hoplites to defend Athens. And we're going to take one of them off of there, and we're going to send him out with our new settler to claim our first city, which we're going to stack. We got to keep it within 2 of the 2 tiles of that stack of wheat, if that's what we're aiming for. So we're going to put it right here, where it will not, when it expands, it will not interfere with our capital's production area. Always important. Okay, so this is done. We're moving on to the hill here. Okay, we're going to do one more hoplite. We are the most advanced nation in the world. How about that? Okay. Hills, they're generally only good for production. They do produce 1 food, but generally production is what you want to focus on for hills, because it's the only thing you can build on them is a mine. So we're going to let him keep exploring. Okay, is this our last hoplite? That is. So we're going to build 1 more, and then we're going to build our second settler. We just founded our second city. All right, so first thing we're going to do, we're going to build a second hoplite. We try to do 2 units in each city for both population control, as in, civil unrest type of deal. Basically military police, guards, for those of us who have played Assassin's Creed. The guards are also very important, but okay, so we're just build our second settler. Now we're going to build a granary. Now the granary effectively doubles the rate of a city's growth by causing only half of a city's food store to be depleted when it grows. So you only need half as much to grow a city. Okay, so this Sparta has produced its second hoplite, excuse me, and we're going to start on its first worker, probably its second too, depending on how fast this goes. We have our second settler, and we're going to move this way. And we're going to plant our next city right here. This will secure the fish resource right here, and also the gold resource, which will give us a much needed boost as far as income goes. As at this point, as you can see, we're now in negative. Now I'm on chieftain difficulty, so I won't be suffering for that per se, but we've still had sent him up here, and then we're going to keep that as roads and move on. We're going to put the roads down, but we obviously cannot expand until we have the correct information. Next, we have the Shaka of the Zulu as our next civ that we've encountered. He's offering masonry for writing. So we're going to go ahead and take an attack. Yeah, he did run into them. So we just went this way, so let's head back up this way again. Okay, so we're going to actually aim to plant a city. We don't want it right here because it'll interfere with Delphi here. which I did forget to say that we did put Delphi down. So we want to stick our city, so we can take advantage of the fish here. We want to stick our city right here in the corner. I'm going to put another road down there. So we actually have a neighbor that's pretty darn close to our civilization. They're right down here. All right, so this settler or city will start with a elite defender, so that's always a good thing. Of course, they may end up with a massive barbarian invasion because there's an encampment right there. But we take, you gotta take what you get, and go ahead and do up. And this is going to be another situation where we need to irrigate as much of the area as we can. We have forests and we have hills, so we will have production. That's not a concern. But if we want to expand, we need the food. Okay, so we now have at this city, for Thermopylae now has our second worker. We're going to start them on the Mausoleum of Mausoleus. They're so close to Athens that there's really not a lot of need for them to have a courthouse to combat corruption just yet. Okay, so we have an empty space here. We could put a city here, but we won't really get any special resources if we do that. And either, no matter where I stick them, they're going to interfere with either Corinth or Phasalos. So what I can do is I can plant my city. Let's see, if I plant it right here, I will get the whale resource and the tobacco resource, and it will eventually start competing with this Incan city. I believe that's the Incan. So let's move them down there. Start the road here. This is going to be irrigated, so we're going to move on to the hills. Except for I did not put a road there, so brain fart. My bad. What do we have here? We have just food, so this needs a road on it, and that'll be all she wrote there. Let's check our time. Still going good. Okay, so those are all complete. Let's do one final piece of road. No, I guess we're not. So we're going to start him over here, actually, and we can start irrigating now. Roads here. I think we're off to a pretty decent start. We're still expanding. Hoplite, we're not ready for the next villager yet. Okay, there's that. Alright, we're ready for our next city, which is going to be Knossos. Starting with our first hoplite, of course, like I've been saying. Repeat. First wonder is almost done here. Colossus. Hoplite. So we're starting on our workers. Now we're going to actually take this hoplite. We're going to start attacking that barbarian encampment because we want our citizens to be, or our workers to be able to freely work without needing to worry about getting, murdered. Little detail. Okay, this has a shield, so let's put a mine there. We have our first thing here, so let's move you over there. Now, I believe I mentioned it before. I could be wrong, but hoplites are defensive units. They do not have a strong attack. They are offering the wheel, which enables horses, and ceremonial in exchange for that, and 50 gold. We're making 6 gold per turn right now, so I'd say that's a pretty fair deal. It'll only take us 10 turns to recoup that loss. So, and that highlights horses, which we have right next to our capital. Always a good thing. Always a good thing. Okay, the Colossus has been constructed. Now, there's nothing else in this city I really need to build. But what I will build next is going to be the pyramids. Now, those, of course, were built in Egypt in natural times. But the effect of the pyramids in Civ 3 is it puts a granary in every city on the same continent. Another reason why I chose Pangaea. And can also become a tourist attraction. We will not have any chance for getting a golden age from this wonder being built, but it saves us the cost of the granary, and I don't believe it ever becomes obsolete. Okay, so we have our first worker. Let's go ahead and start our second one. Okay, so now we're going to let that hoplite heal because if he takes one more hit, he's dead, and we really don't want to start over with another hoplite, so we're going to let him relax. Okay, so our next citizen, or next city up here, let's go ahead and stick this next city right here next to the mountain, as we're getting into the jungle. Now, jungle presents a number of opportunities, like I said, down here. I believe, nope, that was a different thing, never mind. Jungle presents its own opportunities and difficulties, of course. You can't do much with jungle other than stick a road through it, but so you have to clear it to really use the tile and make improvements on it. But it also has the drawback of spreading disease in your cities. So it's to the benefit, especially with proximity, it's to the benefit of the player to clear that jungle as fast as possible. Now that does take about roughly forever and a year in the early game, but you got to start somewhere. But I'm thinking what I'm going to do for this series is I'm going to do this playthrough as the Greeks, and we'll see how many episodes it takes for us to do this. We'll just kind of have to see. And then once we've moved on past that, we're going to let's go ahead and have this person this city do the oracle. Another blunder. There's our second worker here. Let's go ahead and build our granary. Fully healed, so let's get rid of this encampment. And they went ahead. Is this the city? I think it is. Okay, they did go ahead and plant a city over here, so they are expanding into this area. Okay, so now our worker over here is now in danger because of that horseman that appeared on the horizon there. Let's go ahead and just stick this guy on wealth, or this city producing wealth, because as it stands, I cannot. No, I do have this because I moved this guy into position. And I'm kind of stuck in a catch-22 type of situation. I can stop this guy doing his mine, and that's what I'm going to have to do. Because if I don't, he will be killed by that horseman. Because unfortunately, my other hoplite is out of position, and I only put 2 in the city. So our next settler is done and dusted, ready to go. We have that guy and that guy, so I think we're actually down this way again. And we're going to put our next city right here on this hill next to the river. And that gives us just boatloads of production value, and it also gives us game animals and tobacco resources, excuse me. And it's not pressed immediately up against a hostile force, so that's always a good thing. Okay, we can now move these guys back over. Not to that point yet. Okay, and you need to move up into the city so it can't be raided. We'll put our city here. Now, Argos here will want to get a temple in it, and that way it can start competing with Vilcus there, as far as culture goes. Okay, first worker, let's go ahead and start our second one. Roads are complete there. We don't want to undercut ourselves, so we will tell this guy to skip, put a mine there, fortify. This city's ready to go. Mice in range of that worker, so sadly we're going to have to rebuild the worker, which is not the end of the world, just an inconvenience. Skip on that turn. Roads and roads. Okay, so what we're actually going to do, so this worker or this horseman cannot come over and destroy improvements, we're actually going to go ahead and kill him with a hoplite. And we can name it as Revenge at Battle Throws there. Review. Nope, that's the last gentleman here. Okay. So let's send him up there after that barbarian. Okay, your worker's done. So let's go ahead and start putting a courthouse in here. We just finished that, so we're going to move down, build roads. I have a sneaking suspicion there is an encampment right here, so we'll send that hoplite after that. and that way we can stop having to worry. But we cannot get all of them unless we want to put a city over here, which will get these bananas and this gold. Now the big question is, would it interfere if I stuck a city down below there? And the answer is that no, it would not. So we're going to go ahead and put our next city right here. We want to get as many resources as we can, even if it only benefits the city next to where it starts. Every little bit helps, as the saying goes. So waste not, want not, and be grateful for what you have, because it can be very quickly taken from you. Okay, you're going to go ahead and send that guy back. I could have sworn those pyramids were at 15 already. Maybe I'm just losing my marbles. More than I already have, that is. I didn't lose them, I misplaced them, in my own defense. They grew legs, walked off. It happens. I've heard this reliably from sources. Very, very important sources. Again, with that inside joke. A friend of mine, best friend of 20 plus years, moved away, and that was a recurring joke while I was helping him move. Good friend of mine. So anyway, okay, so where are we? We've got hoplites. Let's go ahead and start on our workers here. We're doing pretty good. We're up to +9 as far as money goes. And I've been forgetting to have these guys cut down the forest, but that's okay. It happens. We can have this guy cut down this forest because it does need to come down. You're almost done with this. Okay, ready on roads. So you're going to go ahead and move up. Oop, misclick. Mispress more accurately. Okay, so we've got hoplite, going back to settler. Hoplite here, worker here. Okay, so we've got that guy. We've got to clear the forest here. We can do irrigation here. I'm going to just fortify this guy to keep us sentry. Alright, they planted another city, so now we're going to be competing with both of those. What was our new city name? This one was Heraclea. Nice. Naming your city after Hercules. Hercules in English, of course, but it's Heracles in Greek. Always vexes people for some reason when I correct them on that. Can't imagine why. It's almost like culturally misappropriating people. Sad face. Okay, now we have horseback riding. Awesome. Okay, there's our first worker here. And somebody's building the Great Library, which is a good benefit, but I do not have literature research, so I cannot build the Great Library just yet. Got one more on that side. Let's go ahead and build a road there, put a mine down. I believe this is going to be another mine. Is that a hill? I think it is, if my eyes don't deceive me. It is hills. So or 32, excuse me, return. Now we're going to keep expanding because expand is the key to the early game, in my experience. We just established down here, and we just established we have a settler heading up that way. So we're going to want to take advantage of a couple of different things here. Let's smack a city. No, we can't put a city here. It would actually interfere. So let's put a city down. We want to keep kind of curb the Incans' growth in this direction. They have on the map here, they have plenty of space to expand. So let's keep them from expanding too far into our space. Not that that's going to do anything to stop them, but it's a nice thought. So we're going to use the fact that we have so much arable land here. We're going to plant our city right here, I believe. Okay, so let's have a road. We already have one there. Can Delphi build anything useful yet? No, it can't. We could do a temple, but temples will cost us money. So, and we only get a minimal return from it. So we don't want to build temples if we can help it just yet. So let's irrigate this. Okay, the courthouse is built, and now these guys are actually going to shift to a second settler factory. These guys need their workers because they just built their second defensive unit. Clear forest. Build a road. Literature, so we're good on that. Map making. 4 turns. Okay, first worker. Let's go ahead and do our second one. And you got interrupted, so you're now going to head back to, I believe it was right here. Irrigate that. Build a road. Okay, so there's that. You're going to go up. Build a mine. And plant our next city of Firaxis. Hot plant. Clear the jungle. Go ahead and explore. Okay. So this hoplite, we're actually going to go ahead and move back into Firaxis. We're going to go ahead and take a pause and build a library, or take a pause from our production here and start the library. These people need their granary. Send you back. Send you down. Yep. Okay, so road here. Now we have our next settler. This gentleman is going to come up here. And we're going to make a beeline for, like I said, we're going to go snag these bananas and that gold. We're going to build a mine here. You're back in position. See, the Zulu, if I'm not much mistaken, are all the way up here. Yes, these are those MP units. I'm just going to go ahead and attack my warrior and get owned as a result. Okay, Cuzco has completed the oracle, so that invalidates this, but we're going to switch that over to the Great Library. We're going to continue to expand there. Clear the forests. They have horsemen and they are attacking me also. Now, at this point, it's not a huge loss if they destroy the warriors that are over here, and we're kind of stuck in between a rock and a hard place here. We don't want these cities so close to each other that they're going to bump, but if I put it any closer, we're going to miss out on a resource. So we're going to have to make a hard choice, I think, and we're going to go put our city right here. Which is not ideal. You obviously don't produce a lot of food in the desert. But with that being said, I think we're going to stop here for this episode. We're almost all the way through the ancient times, and then we'll be heading into the Middle Ages. We still have monarchy, polytheism, mathematics, currency, ironworking, and construction to finish up this era, and then we'll move on. So apart from that, and we're about to run out of money in 2 turns, but that happens. And we're almost to the point where we switch from BC to AD, because apparently that happened all in 1 year. Anyway, so really quick, actually, let's go ahead and clear this barbarian. And so yes, thank you very much for joining me on this. Let's go ahead and save also. It's a good save point. So yes, thank you for joining me for this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you'd like to see more content like this. If you have any suggestions about which civ to play on the second part of the series, if I do a second part, if by chance you have a civ that you'd like to see me play, let me know down in the description below. You should be able to pause the screen on the civilization list here at the start of the video, and you should be able to pinpoint pretty easily what civilizations are options. And apart from that, Again, thank you for joining me, and I will see you in the next one. See ya.